Hey YouTube, another knife review for you today. This is an older knife. It's not in production anymore, but I'm going to do this review because I think it's a very worthwhile knife, and I'm sure there are many, probably you can find them on the forums, on eBay, and on the secondary market. This is the Kershaw Lahar. Originally it was sold for around $56. Alright, and you can see very nice satin finish blade. That is VG10 steel. VG10 is a Japanese steel. It's a more expensive steel, and you know it's known for how sharp it can hold and keep an edge. It's the same steel that's used in well-known knives such as Spyderco Delica, Spyderco Endura. Alright, now you can see the handle scales are G10. They are textured G10. Right, and it is closed construction. You see the spacer there and the liners there. The opening facility is an index flipper, and it does have a little bit of jimping on the flipper. Opening with a little bit of wrist motion is very simple and easy with either hand. It is a heavy blade which assists you in opening the knife. Right, now the blade length on this, it's about 3 1/2 inches. Right, now this knife, one reason I think a lot of people maybe it kind of got a bad rap because there was a very famous knife reviewer by the name of Nutn Fancy who kind of didn't like the knife because he felt that it was too heavy. It was above his rules for how heavy his knives that he likes are. Okay, now you know my opinion on that is that yes, the blade is extra wide compared to most folders of this length category, but someone who's purchasing this, you know, I feel that they've probably already taken that into consideration, and they just want an extra wide blade because it just kind of gives more deeper cutting power as far as shearing cuts. You know, a chef's knife is wider than a steak knife for obvious reasons, because you do different things with a steak knife or a slicer than you would do with a chef's knife. So, you know, there is room for wider blades. You know, it really depends on what you want to use your blade for, okay? So bashing the knife, like, just because of its weight, I mean, it's kind of like bashing a sword because the sword is as long as a sword is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're buying that item, you know, you're an adult, you've considered all the drawbacks and benefits, and, you know, if you wanted a wider blade, you know, I mean, should you not buy it just because it's 1 ounce heavier than some rule? You know, so that's just my opinion, okay? If you want a lighter, slimmer knives, that's cool too. But I think for what type of knife it is and the price range, considering the nice steel, I think it's a very worthwhile knife. It's one of the better Kershaws. It's not. It's definitely higher quality than their current budget models. You know, I mean, it was at least worth the original price. You can see by making the blade wider than usual, what they accomplish is a much fuller belly. Okay, and you can use that belly for everything you might use a knife belly for. I know, you know, the belly is very important on skinning knives. You know, not that this is a folding skinner, but it could be. You know, the point is, a full belly is something that's preferred by many people. If you look at the Ken Onion designs with the recurve into a full belly, very, very popular. All right, and you can see this has a slight recurve there. All right. And the hollow grind on it is fairly shallow. It also has thumb studs. If you want to open it in a more low-key way, you can open it with the thumb studs. The contour of the handle, you see the finger groove there, and then a curve for your palm there, pinky ramp there. Overall, you know, gives you a good grip. Some jimping right there at the base of the spine. Again, it gives you a very good grip. And overall, I feel the knife has a lot of positive features. The opening, you know, it couldn't be easier. It's a manual knife, but it opens as quickly or quicker than an assisted or auto would. The VG10 steel, as I said, it's used in the Endura, many popular knives, and it's a good knife, a good steel, especially for the original price. All right, the G10 handle material, very nicely textured. A lot of people prefer G10. All right, the lock, it's liner lock mechanism. It's very secure. There was no blade play front to back or side to side on the knife, and I've had this knife for about 2 years. All right, and it still served me well. Now, what is the knife for? Well, you know, it's kind of a heavy EDC. There are people who prefer a wider blade. You know, just look at how popular zero tolerance folders are, and you'll see that wider blades, there's some people that just find them more useful, and I can understand that. There is just heavy cutting tasks that you could use it for. It could also be used in the, you know, for a tactical role. I mean, it is shorter, okay, than most blades that you would call, you know, that category. But it's all in what you're trained to do. I mean, that belly for impact cuts, very effective, drawing that belly through. All right, and it's not the most penetrating design in the world. All right, but again, some people, depending on what training they have, you know, they might prefer close cutting, they might prefer slash, thrust, whatever. So it's all personal preference and what you are trained to do. Okay. If you do see one of these floating around the secondary market, well, now you have a little bit more information on it. You can decide for yourself what price you might be willing to pay. All right, so there you have it, the Kershaw Lahar, one of my favorite older Kershaws. If you see one around, hey, if you can get it for a good price, you might want to consider it. I hope you enjoyed this knife review. Stay tuned for many more. I am out of here, dudes. Peace out.